Hey fellas, how you doing? In this video I want to speak about anger. I want to speak about how to deal with anger. I want to speak about how to overcome anger. All the words I'm using are really the same thing. So what inspired me to do this, I've been working with a good friend of mine on my 6 weeks program, and we're coming towards the end of the program. And this has been many men that I've worked with on my 6 week transformation program that are struggling with anger. And how I'm going to answer this question in the way that I always do, I'm going to share my experience, because to some extent my experience is your experience. Now for years I had a lot of anger. I knew I was angry, but my anger embarrassed me. I was angry towards my past. I was angry towards my dad because of the abuse in the past. And then I realised, of course, I wasn't just angry at my dad, I was angry at myself. I was angry at past confrontations in my life, bullying situations, life, pretty much everyone. Because when you're angry and you're enraged and you've got trauma, it stays with you. What I realised was, for many years, there would be times when I wouldn't feel as angry, so if things went well, if I got paid in work, if someone was nice to me, if I got a bit of validation, if there, for little things, if I ate a treat, if I ate some cakes, comfort eating, if a girl gave me some attention, if I got on a date with a girl, but it would always come back. And I spoke about in my last video, when I spoke about the social anxiety shadow, the anger is a shadow. And for me, my anger was really made up of a cocktail of emotions from the past, from my shame, from my embarrassment, from my paranoia, from my negative thoughts, from my depression, from my suicidal thoughts, from my split personality. All my negative tendencies kept feeding that anger. It's so interesting because years ago, of course I wasn't as intelligent as I am now, I wasn't as well experienced in life, but unconsciously I knew this anger was giving me a lot of trouble and I couldn't let it go. I was in so much pain. I can't even explain and contextualize into words how angry I was. That's why I got into so many fights with people. That's why I was quite a timid, nice guy, but if I felt that people were trying to take advantage of me or bully me, and sometimes they did bully me, I would flip. And I'm not saying this in the video to show off or make myself look like a tough guy, but it's really hard to say this. These videos are hard sometimes, but a lot of people got frightened of me. A lot of people got frightened of me because they could sense that I was angry, and I would lash out and get into fights. And all my anger came from unconscious feelings of not feeling good enough, not feeling liked, and feeling abandoned by my dad, feeling that my parents were against me, feeling that everyone, God, and I was so angry. And that's why I got triggered so much. In psychology, they talk about being triggered. Now we all get triggered. I'll give you an example. You leave your house, you're on your way somewhere, you're in a good mood, you might be on your way to a date, you're on your way to a business meeting or to go and see your mum or whatever, and as you're walking down the street, someone gets in your way and barges you, and it triggers off, you feel it, it comes up, that angry personality, and that could lead to something really bad. You might turn around and say to the person, sorry my language, what the F are you doing? And then they might say F you, and then you say F you, and then two pain bodies are out and you get into a fight. So what I'm saying is, that situation, obviously if someone barges you, we're all human, it's gonna agitate you. But it goes deeper than that. So I realised every time someone upset me, they triggered off my childhood trauma. Isn't that interesting? So yes, I was angry in that moment at that person for whatever they did, let me down, they were rude to me, but they were opening up a massive wound. And of course, this explains why lots of insecure men get into fights, because they don't realise that they're carrying trauma, or even if they do realise it. And like I said, what kept me angry for so long and socially anxious and ashamed and traumatised was shame and embarrassment. I just couldn't deal with it. It was too, I don't even have the word, but I'm sure you know what I mean. It was too uncomfortable. I didn't want to deal with the fact that I didn't think I was good enough. And most of my anger came from I mean, it's all being disconnected from people. I could not connect with people because I wouldn't allow myself to connect with people. I didn't trust anyone. I wouldn't open up. When I did open up, sometimes I'd regret it because I think people are going to betray me. They're going to use it against me. So a whole lot of confusion, and that's really what anger consists of. Trapped negative emotions. This is my experience. I don't think anger is just anger. Anger is a mixture. It's jealousy, and that's why I was such a jealous person, and I was ashamed of my jealousy. If years ago, if a friend was to do well, I'd feel bad, but I wouldn't feel happy for him. I'd feel jealous. I'd feel threatened because that's how insecure I was. That wasn't personal with him. It was personal with me, and it was all leading back towards my dad. It was leading back towards not feeling loved in life. So, what I'm saying to all the guys that work with my 6-week program, this is what I did. Now, I just want to say, you could probably tell, I'm not an angry person no more. It's all gone. I'm not a jealous person. I'm not distrusting, because as my mentor says, I trust myself, and that's the only person that I need to trust. Now, of course, I'm a human being. Some days I do feel angry, even though I've fixed my trauma, because we're in a human body, and we're always, there's always things going on in life. There's always energies, there's always messages, there's always things that can make us angry. But I'm very good at using self-control. Most of the work I do on YouTube and the teaching is all part of my self-control. It's all controlling negative emotions and turning them into positive ones and putting stuff out. So this really comes back to the practice of integrity. It really comes down to it. When you're in your addictions, you're feeding your anger. Pornography is going to make you angry. Jealousy is going to make you angry. Talking about people is going to make you angry. Not looking at your own fears is going to make you angry. So I guess the answer is honesty. The answer is honesty. The more honest you are in your life, the less anger you have. Now, I know it's not that easy, because when I was going towards healing with my dad, there was so much anger, especially towards the end of the healing. Stuff was just rushing up, and then most of the anger, of course, was towards myself. I was also angry at some of the things I did to people. I didn't treat people nice in the past because of unconscious trauma and being spiritually asleep and being insecure, basically. So it's a process, and it's going to take as long as it's going to take. That's why I tend to work people between 6 and 12 weeks, because healing trauma pain, it takes time. But 6 or 12 weeks, or even a few months, it's not a long time. Even a year goes like that. So if you start working on it, you'll feel the difference. So how can you work on it on a practical way? Let's get a solution. The teaching that I teach is the same one that Tolly teaches, lots of spiritual teachers, self-control. So if I'm in a social situation and, I don't know, someone says something in a conversation that I don't like, or someone is aggressive with me, or someone just triggers something in me, I may feel that anger come up in me, I can feel it, but I've got the stamina, I've got the self-control and the self-awareness to recognise the anger and not to react, just to let it, feel it in my body but not react to it. In the old days, I had no self-control. As soon as I got angry, bang, that's how it was. Got angry, bang, someone makes me angry, someone gets in my way, what are you doing? And there was no time to have a gap, sit back and relax and process it. And then as I got older, I realised that my anger was actually my protection against my unconscious phobia, which was what consisted of my social anxiety. People are going to try and take advantage of me. They're going to try and outsmart me. They're going to physically bully me. They're going to hit me. They're going to dominate me. But every time I got angry, even when, and it's basically an insecurity of wanting to control people. And this is what makes people insecure. Insecure people always going to control everything because they're frightened it's going to be taken away. It always comes back to the feeling of not being loved. Secure people are more comfortable in not trying to control things. When we don't control things and we're in alignment, of course things rush towards us. And that's exactly, I've gone off tangent here, but it makes sense. That's how you attract very beautiful women. That's how beautiful women attract very beautiful men. That's how we attract very beautiful people. But of course we need that relationship of ourselves. So this is what I learned, this is what my mentor helped me with. This has consisted of years of going wrong, going right. And this seems to be serving me really well. So you really have to first identify your anger. So that's what I do with the guys on the 6 weeks program. And I help people when they bring it out. Where is the anger coming from? My anger was my father at the time. It was my father. It was my lack of achievement in life. It was my inability to love myself, and that was being my defense was at the time drugs, alcohol, sex, anger, violence, negative conversations, abusive relationships. This is all a consequence of a man or a person not being able to deal with their anger. So the way to deal with anger is to first recognize it, understand where the anger is coming from, then go through a process, a practical, spiritual, psychological process of getting better at controlling the anger, and then, and my mentor taught me this, then to convert the anger into things that you want to do. So, I mean, I'm saying this is common sense, it's brilliant. If you're angry, go down to the gym and hit the heavy bag. That's what my nan used to say. She'd go, you're angry, so you're tense. Go to the gym, get your anger out. My nan was telling me this. It's so simple, it's incredible, but a lot of people won't do it. So if you're angry, go for a run in the park. Personally, my way of getting anger out, I feel great today, is YouTube videos, teaching, talking, writing, eating good. Basically, everything that is love, everything that makes you feel good is the opposite of anger. Anger is hate, anger is fear, anger is racism. These areas lower consciousness. So if you keep doing these same things, and I see a lot of men doing this I work with, even though I tell them, and they know it, they try it for a bit, it works, they get pulled out by the pain body. So if you make mistakes, it's okay. Obviously don't make the big ones, losing your temper. In years ago, I made awful mistakes. Go to a nightclub, I walk in the club, I'm in a good mood. I have 5 Jack Daniels and Coke, I indulge in drugs. All of a sudden, someone barges me in the club, I turn around, I flip out. I knock them out, then their friends come for me, then the bouncers drag me out, then it's chaos. And that's all because my insecurity from the past, which I couldn't deal with, the trauma with my dad, the trauma at school, what happened around my area, what didn't happen in my life, what I felt I didn't get, I wasn't justified, I didn't get the woman I want, I didn't make the money I wanted, I didn't have the respect, I take it out on someone in the club. And of course that person is also intoxicated in alcohol, they're barging me because they're not dealing with their trauma, 2 pain bodies, and I'm lucky to be here alive and to be free of all this and turn it around. So anger is dangerous energy, very dangerous, and if people can't control it, they flip out. So it's a very, very exciting practice once you understand how to do it. And I've just given you the process. This is the same process that I passed on the 6 weeks program. So anger is real, pain body is from the past. And then of course, in the present, in the future, we're always going to have things that are thrown at us that make us angry. So if someone goes on my YouTube channel and they write something mean about me, they say they don't like my hair, Johnny Berba's going bald, or they call me a bad word. If I was my old self in the past, I'd get so angry because I was very insecure and sensitive. I would respond on the video, what do you mean, I've done this, look at you. That is the kids club. That is lower consciousness stuff. I don't even engage in that anymore. When people write that, I just go, okay, I accept that. You're always going to get a bit of criticism. Sometimes the criticism from people is true. People have helped me in the past on YouTube. In the old days, I had some criticism about my fashion wasn't good. It was true, my fashion was dreadful back then. I was still working on myself. So it made me angry, but the good thing is I didn't react on the comments. I went away, I processed it, and I thought, yeah, the guys are right. And my mum said it. I said, yeah, my mum's saying it. If critics on YouTube are saying my fashion sucks, let me go and change it. I changed my fashion, felt great. That criticism actually benefited me. They gave me self-love. I gave myself self-love. So it's learning how to feel angry, not react to it, put it into a positive outlet. It is a recipe for success. So this is a practical way of doing it. So this is what I'm really doing here is helping men that used to be like me, that are insecure, reactive, not trusting of people, how to control themselves. So you get angry, someone says, because it happened to me a lot in the past, friends criticised me, they got quite jealous when I was changing and improving with women. So one friend said to me, you're never going to make it big. This was about 4 years ago, because you don't have the media exposure and you just don't have the marketing. You won't be like other people in the dating industry. And it made me a little bit angry at the time, because I wasn't as secure as I am now. I didn't I was quite confused about who I was still developing. And I felt quite angry and I felt a little bit hurt. So that just showed me at that time where I was at, I was sensitive, and I went to react, but I calmed myself down even at that time. I went away and I used that criticism and I thought, I'm going to disprove what he said. I disproved it. And everything he said was the opposite. And then in my mind I meditated and I said a prayer for him and I said thank you to him. Because if he hadn't have said that and triggered that anger and insecurity in me, and if I didn't know how to control it, I wouldn't be where I am now. So that is proof and how powerful a practice of reframing from anger, feeling anger of course, self-control, putting it into a good outlet. Same back in school, teachers, even my dad. My dad, amazing teacher, used to always get angry, lose his temper. I was the same, his son was the same. So I had a lot of training from my dad. Now, years later, forgiven my dad, looked at all the good things he's done for me, made me the man I am today. Forgiven him, because no one's perfect, forgiven myself, and all that anger that he put on me, my dad, changed it, put it out, and spreading love, helping other men who've come from the same background as me, same predicament, to be successful in their life. That is the power of self-control and self-love. That is a practice of self-love. It's so powerful, it's so simple, so you start practicing it. And it is a painful process initially, like everything, but it will get easier, it will heal. Then you'll go from, because you're probably like me years ago, you're probably really sensitive to criticism, you're probably terrified that someone will say something bad. Then you'll get to a place that's not arrogant, very humble, where you'll be excited, you'll be prepared for criticism. When it comes, great, chance to practice. Interesting enough, the more you get better at practicing this, I reckon it's a very, I just believe in this, I really believe God protects you more, the universe. You don't get attacked as much because people sense it on an unconscious level. They sense that you're calm, you're controlled, you're congruent, and they unconsciously, their shadows or their angry parts will feel somewhat threatened by your divinity, if you like, your honesty. So it's a win-win for everyone. And that's why I say to a lot of people, I've worked with a few people that said they want to start businesses, they want to start a YouTube channel, but they're frightened about putting stuff out on YouTube in case they get judged or people don't like it. They ask me, how did I do it? Put the stuff out, be yourself, speak from your heart, and embrace the criticism, because criticism is going to help you in the long run. The critics, this is in my experience, it's always great when people say nice things. We all like that. But I'm starting to learn now that harsh criticism has been the most beneficial feedback for me, where we don't get the validation we want. But we don't need the validation outside. I don't need the validation from you don't need it from me, because we go inside. So when we control anger, we go inside, we control it, and then we get the love outside. It's all about love. It always comes back to that in psychology. If we don't feel loved, we feel angry from the past. And this is how we heal with our fathers. This is to insecure men that are like myself, who are really secure men just in the making. It's just a switch in psychology, and it's a healing process. That's how you deal with anger. Like, subscribe, enjoy the process, and let me know in the box below what your thoughts are on your anger. Just share it. It's good that you share it on the YouTube. Even if I don't have time to respond to every comment, I do read the comments, and it will be good for you. It's therapeutic. So I get a lot of the guys I work with in my 6 weeks program. We do the teaching, the psychological and practical work in London. I get them to email me, which is confidential, and bring out their anger and see in their anger where can we find the talent, where can we find inspiration, where can we find, because in anger there's a lot of positive energy in it. It's just mixed up. You just got to break it down and do it that way. Love, enjoy the process.